and the ancestors are looking out for us. God Hayes is exposing them, man.
Okay, you see that chair right there? See how big it is?
Yeah.
Now look at the Pope chair under it. Scroll down, look at the Pope chair under
Never have it been made so clear.
Young TV. Young.
We running the game right now.
Young TV.
Time to take over.
Young
We the hottest in the game. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you just not tuned in.
TV.
Share, like on your Instagram, Facebook.
Young TV.
If you tuned in, we broadcasting live from 2030, baby.
Young TV. Young
Taking over the game, baby. Oh yeah.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Young TV.
Get them likes up in the air, you heard me?
Young TV.
Ride by. Hotel Islam.
Young TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Flown lekker.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Hey, ride by to friends and family, Hotep and peace. Today we have a exclusive interview with the beautiful Dr. Kia Pruitt. This is about to be the easiest interview you ever did, because I got clips, and then all we're gonna do is give our perspective on what's being said in the clips. And the first part is about the women. We'll get into that because it's kind of stemming towards what you and Duke be talking about. We got some clips, but before we get into those clips and get into the presentation, could you introduce yourself to the people and let them know who you are? A lot of people know, but for you people that don't know who Dr. Kia Pruitt is, could you introduce yourself to the people?
Yes, sir. I am Dr. Kia Pruitt. Orisha Stone, who you know, made me or announced that I am the Minister of Wealth because I speak on wealth, family, and legacy. And that's where I've done my work. I've surrounded my work. Now, in my previous work, a lot of people don't know, Elder, I actually worked with women. I worked in cultivating women to be elegant, graceful, sophisticated. And then I parlayed that over into the work that I'm doing now, talking about accumulating wealth, wealth preservation, so that we can leave a legacy for our family. So I think the thing that kind of the string or the bridge is cultivation. I would work to cultivate women, and now I'm working to cultivate families and wealth so that we can leave an impact and an empire of wealth for our posterity. I'm also a mom of 8. My husband passed away about 4 years ago, and we have 6 grandchildren, and I love humanity. My purpose and my goal here is to liberate humanity and to help them leave a legacy of wealth and impact for their posterity. So that's a little bit about me. You already put my bio in your description section. So, you know, we can get into that a little later. I do have a background in geopolitics, politics, economics, psychology, and sociology. And I went from my bachelor's degree to a master's, 2 masters actually, and a PhD in psychology and higher education studies.
That's pretty good. That's good. For the people that haven't went subscribe to Dr. Kia's YouTube page, the link is in the descriptions, and you can follow her on Instagram. Both of those links is in the descriptions. Now, I got one more question for you. What did you go to school at?
So
it's in the bio, but yeah, just that short little.
Yes, sir. So I started off at Berea College, which was a college that recruited people that lived in the Midwest. But then I finished my bachelor's degree at Shawnee State University in Portsmouth, Ohio, because we left Berea. My husband and I, we were high school sweethearts. We got married in Berea and then went to Portsmouth, Ohio, where we were from, and got my bachelor's degree there in social sciences. I created my own program. I didn't know what I wanted to study, exactly. And here I am working in all those things. So my professor said, just do an interdisciplinary degree where you can mix in whatever you wanted. So my social science bachelor's degree is sociology, psychology, economics, and political science. And here we are today, and I'm talking about geopolitics and financial and global economics. Then I went to Marshall University. I was actually there with Randy Moss. He was in his younger years, and I was older. And yes, he did ask his sister to date, but I was like, I'm older than you. Okay. So, but
you like black don't crack, boy. You like the black don't crack. I'm telling you, you still beautiful even after eight kids, all that. Yeah, you still
thank you
at the top of the food chain.
Thank you. And during that time, when I went to get my master's degree, that's a long story. You didn't ask me about my personal stuff. But anyway, you probably know a little bit about my story, but I got a master's degree in counseling. And then I went back to get a master's degree in leadership studies at Marshall University. And then I went on to work for the University of Louisville School of Medicine, where I recruited medical students and dental students, and I created and coordinated programs for them. I taught the verbal reasoning component of the medical college admissions test, the dental admissions test. I helped them with professional development, and I did some other work. I secured grants and stuff for the University of Louisville. And while I was there working in the School of Medicine, I decided, I enjoyed recruiting and retaining students, but I decided there was a niche that I needed to focus on, and that was Black men. And so I said, I'm going to go from working at the medical school to figuring out how I can help Black men, or indigenous men, as we call them today, be recruited into college, matriculate through, and graduate from. So I decided to work on my PhD in education and counseling psychology within the realm of higher education administration. And I did some really good work with other Black professionals in the area, recruiting, retaining, and graduating Black men. And that was the focus of my dissertation. So people can look me up, because I get challenged all the time. Do you really have a PhD? Where do you have a PhD in? Because people don't believe me, but they can just look up Kia Marie Pruitt, and they can look up, then type in University of Louisville and put dissertation, and you'll see my research, the book I had to write in order to get my credentials for a PhD. So University of Louisville is where I got my PhD.
Now, the first half, we're going to be dealing with Black women and the Black men at that particular topic. And then the last half, we'll be dealing with the psychological tactics that they use, just a couple of tactics that they use to keep us against each other. By the way, I just put out a book. I just put out a new book. I did it in audio, so it's out for y'all want to check it out. The Psychological Warfare, the Puppet Master. So I just put that out. But let's get into some of these clips, because this is gonna be an easy class. And
but can I say something?
Go ahead.
I saw your audiobook, and I did a live right before you were doing your audiobook, and I asked my audience to follow you. That is phenomenal work, well researched, polished, just the documentation that you did. You have many sources to support your claims, and I just wanted to tell you that you did a phenomenal job, an excellent job. Everybody needs to watch that video, because he talks about programming, MK Ultra, mind control, how we got ourselves in this predicament that we're in today.
And it's actually another part to that. I did a dissertation on Plato's Republic. It's gonna come out tomorrow, so y'all will see that. It's got 20 minutes long. I actually supposed to add it to the book, but it was already so long. I just set in it, and Plato, his ideology was a whole separate ideology on mind control. So I had to do a whole nother, like a little short book on it. So I got a whole nother piece that's gonna be 20 minutes that's gonna drop tomorrow. But let's get into this. This is about to be interesting, because it's gonna be exciting, because it's all of what you talk about, and it's also sources of other people saying the same thing you saying. So let's get to some of the clips. You can mute your not mute your but you can blank your camera out while it's playing, and you can turn it back on after if you want, or you can just leave it on. It don't matter.
Okay.
So let's play it right here. Let's get into it.
The work on the mind of Black people was done on the woman, was done on us.
Please continue.
And that work consisted of separating us from our man. It wasn't just to force us to work or to nurse their babies so that they could grow up and be strong, because the white woman was too frail and weak to produce the kind of nutrients in her milk that a child needs to survive. And so they made us do that. They made us prepare and cook the food. We had to do the cleaning. And the thing about it is that we were in the house with them. See, a lot of us who were the role models and who were the strong women and who were physically strong also, or even stubborn, we were put in the house. And so they had a greater chance to work on our brain than to just work on the physical abuse of our bodies. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that sentiment, a lot of their ideas, a lot of their disdain in front of us for our Black men and hatred for our children and a lot of things, genetically, we have been reproducing that now for like 17, 18, 19 generations.
That's a fact.
And we keep thinking that it came from someplace else. And we don't understand that we have choices, which is what I want to talk about mostly tonight. We have choices. Mm-hmm. We think we can only have choice of freedom of speech, which isn't true either. And we think that we have choice of the clothes we're going to wear, or maybe where we're going to live, where we're going to work, what kind of education we're going to get, and a lot of things. But we have choices also about what kind of relationship we want to have. We don't have to follow the pattern that was taught to us. We were always told that we were stronger than our men.
Yes.
And so they did things for us to make it appear as if we were stronger. But actually, we just live in a society where the entire society is built on supporting us as Black women to make us look down on the Black man and to make him feel inadequate.
Come on.
To take care of us.
Come on.
See? And so a lot of what has been going on, we have been practicing without knowledge of what we were doing, because we thought, we believed the lie and the rumor. We have the only community where the woman is considered stronger and greater and smarter than the man.
Come on.
Okay. And that's very sad for us, because we have the best man on the earth. Everybody wants our man but us. Okay. And it's getting so he wants everybody but us. So, you know, we're getting to be up against some really strong and terrible times. Not getting along is a luxury. I say that all the time, because we have time to fall out and make up, get mad for a week, don't talk to you for a day, 2 days, and we practice all kind of nonsense of separation, when we really should be trying to separate ourselves from the ideas of the enemy who set us against each other to begin with. We didn't ordinarily just not get along. We used to get along. But for the past, especially the past 60 years, we're not getting along at all. We don't have any patience with each other. And the fault of that is the elder Black man and Black woman. Now, when I say the elders, it's their fault. And, you know, a lot of people don't want to change their name, because they'll say, my mother named me that. Or a lot of people want to go vote because they'll say, my father died so we could vote. Well, they didn't know any better.
Based on what she's saying, because that's what kind of like what you leaning into, like do you think, because it seems like to me when the MK Ultra program came over, they also introduced the Hollywood, they introduced the sitcoms. You know, sitcom means sitcom while we program you or hypnotize you, right? Because you got a sitcom while they program you. So do you think Hollywood played a part too, also as well, in like creating a paradigm? Because you got things like Martin Lawrence, how he deals with Gina and how he deals with Pam. You know, he beats down Pam, the darker skin, sister and lift up the light skinned sister. Then it's breakup. They make breakup series where they break up or where they don't need each other. It's like a separation happening. So what is your take on the psychological tactics used against us to separate the black man, so-called? And we know we're not black Negroes of color, by the way, for people that's listening in the Moors. They say, oh, you're talking about black. So we just gonna be using the word black for this show, but we know we're not black Negroes of color, right? Because they're gonna be saying black a lot. But what is your take on the psychological trauma of trying to split us apart and turn us against the black homes against each other?
Yes, I think, first of all, I want to say that the feminist movement was funded by the Rockefeller Foundation and the Carnegies. We don't understand that these are Caucasian males or males that funded this program to cause us to feel like we're more superior than our man. And I see that perpetuated in the movies, the music, the commercials. I grew up when we had commercials that were always inundated our psychology or our psyche to make us feel like I can bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan, and never, ever, ever let you forget you're a man, because I'm a woman. Remember that? Ajali. It was a perfume commercial, I believe it was. That said, I could do it all. I could bring home the bacon, I can work, I could fry it up in the pan, then I can come home and cook, and then I can satisfy you in the bedroom and never let you forget you're a man. And so all that rhetoric being fed in our minds, that one, Ajali. And then there was another one that says, we come a long way, baby. The Virginia Slims commercial where she's saying, oh, we're not oppressed anymore. We can smoke cigarettes. We can be like men. Men are, historically the ones that would provide, and they would go out and deal with all the energies. And so sometimes they had their vices like smoking and drinking in order to cope. Women never did that. But now the commercials were telling us, hey, you can smoke like a man, you can drink like a man, you can work like a man, but you can still be a lady and do it all. And we bought into that rhetoric, not realizing that it was our own demise, causing or leading to our own demise. Now, I just did a podcast before you and I went live, and I was talking to my sisters. The sisters in the chat were like, I'm exhausted. I want to live the soft life. I'm tired of grinding. This is too much. We're depressed. We're overweight. We want the soft life now because we know we bought into a lie by these people who are systematically suppress and oppress both the man and the woman. And we have to understand and understand this is all psychological warfare, like you said, and it was funded by males. Males, not black males, not our men, but by males who wanted us to be divided so that we can be out in the workforce just like the men, and we can pay taxes. We can build up their empires and we can pay taxes, and our children can go to hell. Excuse my expression, but
go ahead.
Our children can now be lost as latchkey children without mom at home, the first teacher. And we don't understand that being a mom is a beautiful thing. We are the one who decides which genetics will come through the portal. We are the ones that, bring forth life. It's a great thing. But now you talk to women about that and they think it's a birth and being home and taking care of your children is some type of systematic oppression against the woman, not realizing that going out to work and building up some other man's kingdom is actually oppressing us. And I'll yield to you.
Wow, that's good. I'm gonna speaking of that CIA thing, let me play a clip here to that thing, what you said.
Yes, sir.
Feminism, which was modern feminism, a creation of the FBI and CIA to get women out the home through the propaganda of equality. Men and women are equal, right? So when I say propaganda of equality, I'm not saying that women are not equal. I'm saying that this was a government strategy to make the women discontent with being mothers, to get them into college and get them into the workforce, not only so they could tax their income and have more revenue, but also so that nobody could protect the mind of the child from the government. If you look at the flow of feminism unto the modern working career-based women, it has also coincided with the rise in pathology, suicide, mass shootings, because children are supposed to get a certain amount of nurture. Any living organism, I don't care if we're talking about the puppies or the cats or the giraffes or the birds, they get a certain amount of nurture before they're allowed to go out into the world on their own. Human beings are no longer getting that. African children are no longer getting that.
If you consider yourself to be a black feminist, you need to know a little more about this woman over here on the left, Miss Gloria Steinem. I did do a video on Miss Gloria a few years ago, but I think I'm going to reiterate it again today, seeing as the number of black feminists possibly doubled or even tripled, and repetition deepens the impression. The title of this article did get cut off on the screen, but it is called Black Feminism, the CIA, and Gloria Steinem. What follows is a fact sheet about Gloria Steinem's operations against the various social and political movements in America, particularly her role in creating a hateful and virulent strain of black feminism that attacks black men while partnering with the white establishment. Let's read a little more. Gloria first came across the radar of black men in 1978 when Steinem put a book called Black Macho and the Myth of the Superwoman on the cover of Miss Magazine, the magazine which she controlled. The book was written by black feminist and activist Michelle Wallace, who literally came out of nowhere. In the book, Wallace called abolitionists like Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth ugly and stupid for supporting black men. She called black revolutionaries chauvinist macho pigs and advised black women to go it alone. But pay attention to this part. Gloria Steinem said that Wallace's book would define the future of black relationships, and she pushed hard to make sure that the book received massive publicity. And don't we see this happening today? You might not be calling Sojourner Truth or Harriet Tubman ugly and stupid, but you sure are calling your fellow black sister a pick-me or desperate or thirsty when she stands up for black men. Y'all shame, y'all deflect, y'all project guilt on those who want to stand up for our men. You're literally doing what she intended from the beginning. Let a woman today stand up for black men and all of a sudden she's a misogynist and she hates women. I digress. What's the bottom line? The bottom line is the so-called black feminist movement was created and manipulated by the CIA from the very beginning. The only difference between black revolutionaries and black feminists on this issue is that the black revolutionaries know they were infiltrated and manipulated, but black feminists are still unwilling to admit that they were infiltrated and manipulated, largely because they are highly invested in the hateful brand of black feminism. As a result, the Hate Black Men movement has become more than just a political point of view. It is now a central part of the culture of black women, and this fact has led to the destruction of the black revolution and the complete distortion of black relationships. And the CIA had a direct hand in creating this situation. Gloria Steinem knew what she was doing when she put that book on the cover of Miss Magazine. Remember what she said earlier? She said that that book would define the future of black relationships. She pushed hard to make sure that book received massive publicity, and she used someone who looks just like you to push that narrative. If this doesn't change your mind about feminism, honestly, I don't know what will.
You know, I've seen a video of yours where you said that feminism has conditioned black women to view black men as the enemy.
It has. Feminism was financed by the CIA. Gloria Steinem, I think she was.
Right, yeah.
Mother of modern feminism, because traditional feminism goes back to the 1800s, right? With Susan B. Anthony and those white supremacists. But Gloria Steinem was a CIA agent. They financed her. Her first feminist magazine they paid for. The CIA brought feminism into the white household to get the woman out the house, and into the black household to turn the black woman against the black man.
Look at what feminism has done to our families. You just talking about men no longer in the family, yeah, because women are all strong and manly, feeling like they don't need a man no more.
And women are handling their business too.
How they handling their business?
There's a lot of women who run companies.
How?
BET,
when they done broke down their sons and got their sons around here talking about they want to be women. The man need to be back in the home.
But why do the men leave? Because they spineless.
Well, I'm saying that there is if it takes a man and a woman to make a baby.
You're right.
Right?
Okay.
Because women don't get pregnant on their own.
Okay.
Then obviously something should tell us that it should take a man and a woman to balance that child out, to raise that child.
Right.
That child needs half.
They are destroying the black woman with fake news story, with fake entertainers, and trying to turn black women into permanent hoes. The reason they try to turn black women into permanent hoes and giving black women the impression that they can be empowered by being those hoes is because they don't want black women to bring the family structure back together. They don't want black women to work with black.
He cheated on me. Who taught us that? Where did we get those ideas from?
And how does sex become the only deal breaker? If my husband had went out and blew his check, oh, we're gonna rock and roll that night. Because that's important to the establishment and the maintenance of the family. But if
I will go. I just wanted to play those about the clips that I had on the Black feminist movement set up by the CIA, just like you just said. So now let's do a little go back, because we know that the CIA, the Project Paperclip, and it seemed like most of these the high ranking psychological guys that's doing the research and putting all this together are Germans. And then the Germans come over with and set up the CIA. The CIA set up Hollywood. So we looking at a pattern here, like this was an all out war against us. And not only the feminist movement, then they rolled out welfare, as in farewell to the man. They rolled out Section 8 to where the man couldn't be in the homes. Could you go over, give your perspective on those things?
Yes. I want to be careful here because I want to state facts and not be offensive. Those programs that they put in place for women who had children, while on one hand it was to support the woman and to help her if she found herself in a predicament, the main goal of them, because you have to know, they always know the end goal before they put a program in place. It's called program for a reason, right? So the goal was to get the woman to depend on the government and get her so dependent on the government that she literally won't need a man for provision. And the government would tell the woman, if in order to get these benefits, welfare, now we call it temporary assistance for needy families, and food stamps, and even housing, your man could not be in the home. Now, I don't know what that did to the psychology of the man, because I'm not a man, I didn't study that. But for the woman, it said, I don't need to make sure I work hard to keep my marriage intact. I have an out. If we have issues, I can just leave and go and have a house and have all my provisions. So it seemed harmless. But if you didn't have those programs in place, then we would be more apt to stick it out. I'm just speaking from what I know, what I've seen, and what I've experienced. But go ahead.
I was gonna say, and it seemed like it happened because in the 60s, even like my granddaddy, he was a cheater. He had 2 kids on my grandmother outside, but she stuck with him. They never, like most of the old, like during the 60s and the early 70s, most of the families, even if they had problems, they still like fought it out. It was very rare. Although it did happen, people did break up for certain reasons. Because I heard you said it happened to you and your family, and your mother and dad. So it happened, and it was very rare though that people left each other for some reason, until all of these programs, which is CIA operative programs, are rolling out to create this feminist movement.
But this is where you're going to lose the women, where you and I are going to lose the women. Women don't like being cheated on, just like men don't. So, we have to, I'm not saying, I don't think cheating should be a deal breaker. I went through it, and I honestly, if I were smart, I don't want to say smart, if I was more mature like I am today, I would have done all I could do to work through it. And I did eventually, get my family back together, but it took some help. We have to understand that people are human. They make mistakes. But where we're going to lose the women is we say things like, well, grandpa cheated and he had children down the street. Why can't you deal with cheating? Why don't we just instead, because if a woman goes out and steps out and cheats, that's a deal breaker for most men, at least in the past it was. But why don't we come up with a way where we support the family? We teach everybody, if we're going to have a monogamy culture, because everybody doesn't want to have a monogamous relationship. If we're going to have that type of culture, we need to teach both people how to have discipline, both the man and the woman. We need to teach them how to, if you agree to monogamy, how to live within that framework. And if anybody steps outside of it, then we need a system in place to coach them through it. We don't have systems in place to coach people through mistakes and mishaps. Now, this is just my commentary to what you're saying. We need a system in place. And I said that even from my personal experience, if we had a system in place where people just helped us and support us through, we wouldn't have gone through separation. But I will tell you, young elder, that that should not be a deal breaker in many cases. It doesn't, I should say it this way, it doesn't have to be a deal breaker in many cases. Whatever people go through, almost everything is workable. But you need a system in place, like the sister said. We blame the elders to an extent because the elders aren't there to help support us. But then we have to take ownership too. If you're not an elder, because a lot of the young people push the elders away. That's another part of the program. You don't have to listen to anybody. Cancel culture. Your mama and daddy try to tell you what to do. They try to intervene in your business. Cancel them out. Don't have to listen. You're grown. You can do whatever you want to do. All of this programming that we've received and allowed into our homes that was given out by the so-called white man or the government needs to be cast back out where it came from. And we need to work on our own business in-house.
They came out with the independent woman movement too, and that was another stage. Oh, I don't need a man, because what they did is they started giving the women, our women, these white guys start giving out, that's ruling these Fortune 500 companies. They start giving our women more money for like a higher paying jobs than the men, and so that was another tactic to say, okay, I'm the breadwinner, I'm making more money than you. I don't need you. You know what I'm saying? And that was another. We not realizing all this was psychological warfare against us to pretty much destroy our families. Let me roll this next clip. We're gonna get into it. It's about to get good.
My position is that the black woman's disrespect and rebellion against the leadership and the authority of the black man is a direct cause of the breakdown in our black family structure. They did not tell us that all of that being my own person and I'm independent would lead to separation, loneliness, celibacy, and lesbianism. They didn't tell us that if you give up the man, you're going to take one of these things and it's worse and it will destroy your nation. They didn't give us that information. They made us think that it was some kind of glorified position to brag about the fact that I got my own job, my own credit card, my own car, so I don't need no man. I don't even know how we got that mixed up. Ain't none of that got nothing to do with being with no man. See, we have a lot of power. We are very strong women. I'm saying that we're using our strength in the wrong direction. We're using it to tear our man down, tear our nation down instead of building it up. Having an education and a job does not necessarily mean you have a successful life. I keep telling black women that to raise a child, they say, well, I provided with food, clothing, and shelter. That's not raising a child, that's maintaining one. To raise a child, you need a parental coalition of a man and a woman. We have sons who, by not having a father in the home, they don't know how to respect women. They take on the black female emotionalism. They're doubtful, they're indecisive, they can't make a decision. They don't know what to do about being a man because we can't teach them that. We don't have that knowledge. We have daughters who grew up in a home where they don't see any affection, where there's no man there. They go out into the world and try to mate. They don't have no idea how to be no woman to no man. How to function in a house with a man, because they haven't seen it. Most of our children, just like us, get all the information we have about how you be with a mate off television. You know, over 60% of our women are single, widowed, separated, or divorced. They don't have a man. We have not been under the control of the black man for over 500 years, so what do we have to get liberated from them from?
The good black woman is courteous. She says, thank you, baby. I appreciate you doing that. I appreciate every effort you make. Try harder. I'm going to work with you. Thank you. I know you did your best. Now that's a whole new language. But just to say that during the course of the day, every day, with the man that you're trying to be with or want to be with, will make our life easier. We can't get it if we don't give it. We keep wanting them to give us and do something for us that we refuse to do and give to them. It don't work like that.
Everything we want from our men costs money. Everything they want from us just costs us to have a better attitude or a smile. That don't cost us nothing, but we withhold it because it don't go like our fairy tale version of how the relationship's supposed to go. We are sick people. It ain't just him that's got problems. We got problems too. And we the mother. Like I say, we have them before anybody. So if we want a better man, we have to raise a better man. We're working for the future. Because working for the present, we ain't making no progress.
Why don't you step up like a man? How do our girls know what it's like to step up? How do a woman know what it's like to step up like a man? Now, many of us have had good fathers, and so we saw different things that they did. But we want so many material things. We have been trying to live under the clock that white people have set. They've decided what's popular, what's designer, what we should do, where we should go. They've made those decisions. There's nothing keeping us from making decisions.
There's another need that has not been addressed in our community, because nobody will deal with it, and that's one that God did not create three sexes. We only have men and women. Now, I have not said that we should reject the sisters who trying to act like men and the men who trying to act like women. I'm not saying to reject them from among us, but they need to be taught. We don't have to accept that as some kind of normalcy, because that's not normal. But because now the white people are practicing that, when we were doing it, we were punks and faggots. Now that they're doing it, now it's an alternative lifestyle. I'm trying to demonstrate how they have set rules that they have forced us to follow that they don't even follow themselves. They change the rules to suit them when they get ready. We can change them to suit us when we get ready, especially if we have what we have now, which is a failing system. It hasn't worked for us. We don't have to be ashamed that it hasn't worked for us. But we do have to be ashamed of the fact that we keep plodding behind it and not trying to make the corrections that will help our people to survive.
This is my question based on those clips. It seemed like to me the feminist movement was not only to turn women out, but to turn men out as well. And it seems like to me when this is all CIA operative, and people think that, I really want to be gay. They don't. Like some people, they are being influenced to be like that. They are being mind controlled to be like that. They're not naturally wanting to be like that. They think it's like that, but it's really a secret hidden agenda behind all of this to turn. And it's a part of, I believe, part of depopulation. What's your perspective on that?
Absolutely. They put a lot of estrogen causing hormones in the food to turn the males into being soft, like with these soy products. They also teach this ideology in the schools that you can be whatever you want to be, that there are multiple sexes, and you can explore with sex, and you can all type of things. You can disrespect your parents and get these surgeries. You don't have to get approval of your parents. If you think you're a boy and you're a girl, like you said, it's mind manipulation and control. It started out with the foods, and now it's in the curriculum in the schools. And some of the laws that they pass so that children can make decisions on their own. And to your point, and what Sister Ali was saying earlier, when you raise a child, this offends women, in a home with only female energy and estrogen, the child has a likelihood of becoming soft and homosexual. Because what happens is we start to depend on the man, rely on the man, make him feel sorry for us. And so he's feeling soft, which we want him to respect and love mother, but it's more like that's my boyfriend, and how do I look, son? Make him your boyfriend, and you make him, how do I look, prancing in front of him. That's what you would do with your husband. But now we do it with our sons. How do I look? Does everything look okay? And at the same time, tell him you're the man of the house. And then he's around mom and grandma and all her girlfriends cackling and talking about how no good men are. Then he develops a vitriol hatred for the masculine principle. Because in the Black community, whether people agree to it or admit to it or not, we have a vitriol hatred, a psychological pathological aversion against Black men. It's called Black misandry. Yoso and Salazarno talks about that in their research for all the psychologists out there. A psychological, pathological aversion against the Black male. It's deeply embedded in the Black culture and in a female mind. And if you don't believe me, listen to your mothers and grandmothers that say men ain't SHIT. And we have those type of discussions in front of our male children, not realizing that he's a man and his father is a man and he's a spitting image of his father. So when you talk against the father, which is prevalent in a Black home, then you're talking against your son, which leads him to hate the masculine principle and to become more feminine like his mama.
I think that the Sexy Reds, the Carly B's, and the Megan Thee Stallions are CIA operatives because the type of lyrics that they produce in their music is stemming towards like men are like dogs, men are like a shirt. You can just wear them and then throw them in the washing machine, get another one. Get another shirt. You can have many shirts. It's like you're not even human. It's dehumanization that's going on in the music, I think, as far as and it's all CIA. People don't know that the rap bank, the hip hop, it's been infiltrated by the CIA. The music, all that.
And infiltrated by people that aren't even Americans. They're not, most of those artists, actors, musicians, whatever, singers, they're not even Black Americans.
Yeah, I heard Duke say that.
They're not. Most of them are Caribbean or African, or they're African that live in Canada, but they're not us. And some of them aren't even, and some of them aren't even women.
Yeah. Some of them, so it's a lot of people in Hollywood that are cross dressers, and you might look at them and you never seen them as a man. They look like a woman, and a lot of them are men. A lot of these they are drags, right? A lot of them in Hollywood. I could call off a lot of them. But my next question, matter of fact, let me play this next clip, and then it's gonna stimulate the next question because this about to get good. Like I said, it's about to get good.
Get along in bed, we know that. But if we could have got along standing up, talking to each other and functioning, then our children wouldn't be in the condition they're in today. It ain't about child support. It ain't about daddy got another woman. It ain't none of those things. It's about that we didn't have enough unity and respect for our children and their future to try to figure out who to go to bed with so that we wouldn't go to bed with somebody that we hated the next day and we could stay with them and raise our children. It's been proven. It's been proven in every study that children who do not have a father on a daily basis, some kind of way, weekly basis, they're not going to do well in school. They're going to hate themselves. They're going to fight the mother. They're going to hate their siblings. They're not going to do well in school. And they ultimately will be selling drugs or on drugs and go to jail.
Facts. Facts on facts on facts, Queen Mother. And you're right. I mean, I hear a lot of sisters, they run around and, and they feel like we can, we can empower the race all by ourselves. We can do it alone. You hear a lot of Black women say, we're the most educated group in America. We own 2.5 million businesses, but they don't tell you that those 2.5 million businesses that the sisters are bragging about typically have only one employee, but that's a whole nother show. But you got a lot of Black women who say, I can do this, I can do this by myself. Queen Mother, how important is healing Black female relationships to Black liberation and sovereignty? So can Black women do it all alone? I feel like you already answered this question, but can we do it all by ourselves? Can we as the people obtain liberation and sovereignty without Black men?
No, we can attain a level of what is considered as success in America under the American standards and rules and guidelines. We can accumulate all of those things. But any woman who has loved a Black man, any woman who has been held by a Black man with his arms around you, there's no comparison to a credit card and a successful college degree to that. You can't replace that. You can't buy that. It ain't on your credit report. And it don't matter how much success you have, it's not as good. And any woman that says it is lying because she has failed to understand what she needed to do about herself. And that's not saying, as I said, that the brothers are not in trouble in a lot of ways, but we put them in trouble. That's my point. The mother, we the first one to touch them. All we say is, my baby, my child, my daughter, my son. We say that even to the father. We ain't made no baby by ourselves. We ain't that good.
So Queen Mother, let me ask you this. And I'm thinking about right now when I hear you, I'm thinking about Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. Dr. Welsing said that Black women are the mothers and thus the first teachers of Black females and Black males alike. With increased consciousness of their importance as first teachers, Black women can determine whether future generations of Black children will be warriors or if we will continue to be slaves living in a highly refined state of psychological oppression. So, Queen Mother, is this why you utilize your time to speak to Black women and men, but to speak to the sisters and to try to correct our current behavior, because you understand the value and the power of Black women? Is that true, Queen Mother?
Absolutely. We can. We have so much power. We have more power in our community than we have anywhere. We have more power over our children than we have anywhere. Children are not born just for us to dress them up and buy them expensive toys and telephones and iPads and computers. That's not the purpose of having a child, just to give them everything. The purpose is to teach and train them to be able to move into a civilized role in society and represent the standards that we need so that those of us who have daughters and granddaughters can find a man. Because right now, the men act so much, they say they not gay and they not, but they have so many feminine attributes in talking and in their behavior and ideas and petty little issues. They have a lot of those things because women put them in it. They grew up around women. They were turned against the father. That's the man they got to grow up and be. And they were taught bad things about him. Okay, most of us only know anything about our father, whatever our mother told us, and she's still mad at him because they couldn't get along. See, we carry that grudge 20, 30, 40, 50 years, sister. We be mad at a man about something he did back in 1970, okay? 1980, we still mad about that. And the children grow up, the girls don't know how to get along with a man. The boys they got the female emotional mechanism. They can argue better than women, some of them. Yes, and some of them are just so ignorant, and ignorant don't mean dumb. Ignorant means to ignore the truth. And many of them have decided to ignore the truth because of laziness, because you have to study, you have to work, you have to learn how to be whoever it is you decide you want to be. See, the Black man is the best at anything.
Yeah. So I got 2-part questions off of that. The first question is, how do you think for the young women that don't have kids and they young and coming up, I think that it plays a part in who you lay down and sleep with. Like some people don't even do background checks or research on these people. They just get with them a couple of days. He look good. He think I look good. We should get booty, and then they get booty and have the baby. Then all the effects of that is, oh, I don't really want to be with you anyway. I just, because I didn't get to know you. I didn't get to know your inside, your how you are. I didn't get to, so people, you got to get to know people. What is your take on it, on how they should find a man and how much time should you wait? All these different things. Yeah.
Historically, the man had to go to the father of the woman and ask for her hand, to ask to be in her presence. But now the father's not home. And so women are making decisions they weren't supposed to be making alone. The father is the one who can vet a man, size him up, and tell what he's going to be about. And I tell women all the time, even if your father's not home, I don't care if you call him a no good man or your mama didn't like him, your father should be very, very present in your life. And when you see somebody you like, you need to bring him to your father. Doesn't matter what he did and did not do, because he'll be able to vet that man 100 times better than you could, first of all. Secondly, I know we live in a world where everybody's free now, but we need to have an go back to the era of courtship instead of just dating. The dating culture has gotten us pregnant, knocked up, and having full of abortions. We didn't have dating culture historically. We had what was called courtship. That's when the man went to the parents, mainly the father, and said, I'm interested in your daughter. And the courtship process was a time period where he could come to the house, sit in the living room, maybe in front of the parents, and spend a little time with the young lady and talk about what he could or could not do in order to provide for her. So nowadays we're just, oh, I just see somebody, I meet him, I'll lay with them, and then I decide I don't like him, or I get pregnant by him, and then I destroy the baby in the womb because I don't like the man. And we make it all his fault, when actually the onus is on the woman, because we're the ones who decide who we gonna lay with. But again, I go back to the way it used to be. I know we're not there now, but if we can take our mates or somebody that looks good to the father or to the elders in the community and let him or them size them up, we'll make a lot better decisions. If you don't have a father at home, you should have an uncle, a grandfather, a brother, a pastor, a priest, somebody, a cousin, because men know men. But here we go again with this freedom, and I can do whatever I want to do as a woman. I don't need anybody to tell me what to do until they get pregnant, and now they want somebody to come save them, or they end up having abortions. And I'm just speaking from what I see. So if we want to do it the so-called correct way, then let that person come to your family member, and let your family members, the elders, and let them prove themselves before you do this whole dating or courtship process, and definitely before you have sex. Elder, I'm from a time period, and I was raised where women didn't even have sex before marriage. My husband was the first man I ever been with, because that's the way I was trained. That's the way I was conditioned. That was a part of our culture. So when you do that, when you wait, I'm not telling everybody what to do, but when you wait, then you don't have slip ups and mistakes. And then if he leaves or makes a mistake, and you're already married now, so then there are going to be some consequences for him. He don't get to just walk out on you, especially if your family has vetted him and your family has sized him up and said, you can have my daughter. Now, if you can have my daughter, there are consequences and responsibilities. So no loose dating, no sleeping around, none of that, unless you want to deal with the possible consequences. That's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I am.
Go ahead. You finna say something?
People would ask me, you taking us back to the 1960s, 1940s? Yes. Mm-hmm.
It seemed like we had better with relationships back then than it is now. Also, it go both ways. If a man has a woman, he should let his mother better her too, like bring her to your mother, and your mother gonna be able to tell, just like you said, if this is a good fit for you or not, because a mother know her son, especially a mother that's been there the whole time. So they go both ways.
It goes both ways, elders, excuse me. And unfortunately, you'll have people that'll give you pushback. Like, I don't like my mother. My mother doesn't know this, and I don't like my father. Well, then get your relationship correct with your family. All this I don't like, and they don't, and this person, start looking inside, look at yourself. If you don't have a good relationship with your father, get one, develop one, work on a relationship with your father and your mother, so that we can bring the family back together.
All right, let's go to that next one. And also later I'm gonna play these about the fleas in the jaw, because it's conditioning. It's conditioning. All this is conditioning. They walked us into this like a herd, like herding us into a certain, especially us, the Nubians. They target us. We're being targeted by think tanks of German scientists who study specifically how to control people and manipulate them, how to tear their families apart, how to feminize the man, how to masculine the woman. Like if you want to go with the religious perspective, when they talk about the devil made evil look fair seeming. He made what looked bad. He's pushed everything around, just twisted it around. So that's what we're dealing with. We did it with people who deliberately do this, and it's ultimately for not about money and none of that. It's about power and control. That's what the ultimate goal. They got money. They print it. It ain't about no money. It's about controlling you, not just for a little while, but for generations. Now, let me before I play the rest of the woman clips, let me go to this flea analogies, and we'll and just listen at this analogies on how they use conditioning to train us into these different mechanisms that they put out. It's a part of conditioning. Let's see, it's right here, I think.
The fleas are placed inside the jar, and the lid is then sealed. They are left undisturbed for 3 days. Then, when the jar is opened, the fleas will not jump out. In fact, the fleas will never jump higher than the level set by the lid. Their behaviour is now set for the rest of their lives. When these fleas reproduce, their offspring will automatically follow their example.
That's where they put fleas in a jar and put a top on it for 3 days. The fleas jump just as high as the top, and they bump. When they bump the top, they get it's like same thing as the Skinner box, where they get a punishment. They when they hit that top, it's like a pain. So they learn under conditioning only to go as right up just below the top. And so after 3 days, when they take that top off, they would never escape because they had conditioned themselves to not respond to that pain. And then the following generation of these fleas will mimic their parents. So if you come from a broken home, usually this is like it leads into like the condition that you were molded in prior. Your parents beat on each other, whatever, and then you see that play out. Oh yeah, well my dad beat my mother, so I should beat. You know what I'm saying? It's like a psychological condition. What is your take on that, Dr. Kid Pruitt?
That is very true. You become conditioned to behave a certain way. The caveat is in that flea experiment is if one flea decides to leap out of the jar, just one, then some of the others will follow suit. Where are you in this situation, family members? Be the one that steps out and decides to be liberated. And other people will look to you and they will say, okay, now I can do the same. You give people the permission to do what you're doing if you break free. So be that one to break free and get out of that jar. Be the one to show the others. It's just like the parable of Jesus. Because, I come from a religious background. I'm an ordained evangelist. I'm not, necessarily as involved in the church as I once was, but people know the Bible. Do you remember there were disciples in the boat and Jesus was out and on the water? Mm-hmm. So Peter decided to step out the boat. I think it was Peter, it's been a while, step out the boat and walk on the water. Well, he was walking on the water to try to get to Jesus. And he felt so free, so excited. He walked on the water, but then he started to sink. But as he started to sink, the Messiah, the master, lifted him up. And then they walked back towards the boat. Now, the people in the boat might have laughed at him and said, oh my God, ha, ha, ha. You stank. You did this. You tried it. But they didn't try it. They were cowards, or they got so conditioned to being in the boat and being in safety. At least Peter stepped out and got to experience what it was like to walk on the water. And the Messiah lifted him up and carried him back. Everybody don't have that testimony that when I stepped out and I broke free, I might have made some mistakes, but God, the Spirit, the ancestors, and ascended master, somebody came and helped me find refuge. Be that flea, be that one, be Peter, and step out and break the generational curses.
All right, let's go to that next clip. We get good. We ain't gonna hold you long. I just got a couple more clips we're gonna play.
Yes, sir.
All right, it's about to get good.
You're gonna see a continuation of attacking Black women in employment, Black women through anti-DEI initiatives, and just in reducing Black income structures. And so it's a wide scale, a wide ranging attack aimed at the Black woman.
Okay. Yeah, it's just, when you look at it again.
This woman reveals the reason behind the breakdown of the Black community that no one wants to talk about.
Let's stop sugarcoating it. The U.S. government has been using Black women as a tool against Black men for decades. And if you think I'm lying, let's run the receipts. Welfare in the 60s and 70s, they told Black women, we'll help you feed your babies, only if the man isn't in the house.
This is different because I actually lived through this.
That's the man in the house rule. And that's a policy that directly ripped families apart. Then came the war on drugs. They flooded the Black communities with crack cocaine. They locked the Black men up on mandatory minimums and 3-strike laws. And who was left to struggle raising losing entire families alone? Black women.
That's exactly why so many households were broken. Damn.
Meanwhile, they pushed out propaganda calling us strong and independent like that was empowering when it really was isolation. And they painted black men as lazy, dangerous deadbeats. Divide and conquer. That was a plan. They knew the black family was a backbone of our strength, so they made sure to break it.
And that's why we need to rethink everything that we have learned and been taught about our own history within America.
And the sad part, too many of us.
We not only know more about you, we've told everybody else about you. The black woman is the only woman in America who goes out publicly and talks about her man. We don't know what the Chinese man do. We don't know what he does, how he act in the house, how he deal with this. We don't know that. We don't know what the Arabs do. It's a lot of people here. We don't know what those men do. The Latinos. So we don't know what they do. But everybody know what y'all do because we told them.
Man, so you are suggesting that a mate in the black community, a woman, is that is culturally specific to the black community, that by and large, she is the only one that goes out and kicks the black man.
Kinda, yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And it has made you more vulnerable to a lot of other criticism from other people, because the only way they know about you is through us, because you all not telling them. We tell them. And I wanted, as you asked about the book, I wanted to level that playing field and let you all know more of what's going on. Now, some of it has backfired. You know, the book did produce Kevin Samuels, you know, my boy, and he's my spiritual son, I call him. And, you know, he came out and took it a step further. I tried to, what I consider was gently tell people about our situation and to stop us from controlling you all with not only insults, but with sex. You know, there have been a lot of things we have been able to manipulate our men with just based on those things. Plus, we convince you to tell us your secrets. And then the first time we get mad, then we go and tell them. We'll tell the police. We'll tell your mama. You know, we'll tell your children. We'll tell anybody. And so I'm trying to get us to stop practicing that, to pull that back. And if we speak a good word for our men, that if we defend you publicly, like they defend their men. If the white woman have a husband and he go out and he kill 10 people, when they go to court, she holding his arm and they go in there together and she sit there with him and then they go home and the children are there and they do everything. When you all tend to do different things, we not only abandon you, then we tell everything else bad that we know about you. And that's not the way to build a nation. It's not the way to repair the man that the white man has destroyed.
Sister Sarzad Ali dropping gems.
And the biggest trick has been to keep us from knowing that we are the best and that the black man is God. So they couldn't change that of him being who he is, because he is still strong and beautiful in his ignorance. He's still the best. So what
I teach that slavery tampered with nature. When I say that slavery tampered with nature, I mean that a major rite of passage for every male mammal is to provide and protect for a female and her young. Now, certainly we know that the black man has been denied that opportunity. He has not been allowed to qualify to protect his woman or provide for them. They have told us that the only provision that the black man is qualified to give us is one of money. And we have made finance the major focus of our relationships with them. We have made the one thing that most of them don't even have be the criteria. We have been taught that if they do not give us money, that we are not to even allow them to be a father to their child. We have been taught that if he does not give us money, then he is not qualified to tell us what to do. We have been taught that if he does not give us money, that he doesn't have any rights in the home. It's whoever is making the money who has the rights. That's not our system. The black man provides more in a black home than just financial support. He provides direction, guidance, gratification, fulfillment, and discipline for our children.
Dr. Kid Pruitt, this new generation, especially if you listen to the lyrics, like I was saying about the Cardi B's and the Megan Thee Stallions, they generate. If you don't got no money, you don't got to buy me a Dunkenberg pad, what they call them purses, the ones that cost $10,000, a Gucci bag. If you can't take me out to that top restaurant that she ain't never been to, and spend $200 on me, you ain't no good man. Just off of that. What's your take on that? The money situation.
I have to agree with Sister Ali. A man provides more than money. He provides structure, discipline, love, comfort, structure for the household. So just wanting a man just for his money is really hurting us with all this rhetoric. You know, I just need, if he doesn't make six figures, then I can't be with him. When you look at the statistics, the Black population on average only brings home about $35,000 per household. Nobody in America, not even Caucasian Americans, when you look at the statistics, on average, they bring home about $52,000 a year. So who's this man with six figures that they're looking for? It's just a bunch of rhetoric that's been fed to us via social media and these entertainers. And we need to cut it out, because you can build something with a man. If the two of you work together and you love each other, and you can have the support of your community to help you, you'll be all right. So telling the man that his value is only by what he can bring home in terms of dollars is ridiculous. And that's why we're in the predicament that we're in.
Because it's a psychological warfare. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Here's the thing. Those same women that's looking for the six-figure man is the one that's willing to sleep with somebody's husband. Because they don't tell you that when they start ovulating and biology kicks in, they're going to want to sleep with somebody. And if it's only the six-figure man, it's going to be the one that's married. Okay. Or Pookie and Ray Ray. Because these are the women that got babies by Pookie and Ray Ray, but want you to come in and save them and take care of their children that they made with Pookie and Ray Ray with your money. After you built yourself up in your network, they want you to take care of Pookie and Ray Ray's children. No, it doesn't work that way. So if you just want a man based on his money, he gonna treat you like you're a prostitute.
That's right. And you really ain't worth nothing to him. If like, once he could just get rid of you and just get another one because he got money. So it's like a shaky thing when trying to go after somebody about their money because they got money, you know. Hey, shout out Chief Mac for the super chats in the chat, man. Let's play some more. I got a couple more.
It's a very serious situation. It's a very serious situation. Let us take a look at what we as black women have produced while we were allegedly backboning the black nation. 1 in every 4 black males between the age of 20 and 29 is in prison, on parole, been arrested, or had some bump with the law. Over 50% of our prison population is black, male, growing, and female. We have more black men in prison than in college. 6 out of every 10 black men between the ages of 15 and 44 are unemployed, in jail, got some disease, homosexual, on drugs. 73% of all the black men in prison were raised by a single black woman in a home with no man. 80% of that 73% suffered child abuse in the home, victimized by the mother. 1/3 of our children drop out of school before they graduate. Over 60% of our households are headed by black women who are single, divorced, separated, or widowed.
We want y'all way more than you want us. You all don't. We make it seem like it's the opposite way, okay? But the desperation that we live in because of our loneliness and not being able to mate, even intellectually.
From what I understand, you spoke to Kevin Samuels numerous times, and he acknowledged your work as being an inspiration for his views about relationships in our community, right?
I just want to remind you that over 600,000 black women has lost their jobs
Do I think this is by design? This is being done on purpose? Absolutely. They know what they're doing. They know that the backbone of the Black community is the Black woman, and that majority of us are the breadwinners of our households, unfortunately. Should it be like that? Absolutely not. But is that a reality? It absolutely is. So a lot of Black women is turning to social media for extra income, okay? A lot of people are doing that.
What are your thoughts about polygamy? I know that's been a huge topic. The brothers are talking about polygamy, and you got sisters saying, I'm not pregnant. What are your thoughts on polygamy?
Well, most of us already practicing polygamy. We just don't know it. Well, first of all, here's the thing. I see those things online too at different places, Facebook and Instagram about I'm looking for a poly relationship. And our people, as I said, I have to take it back to sex because it is such a great motivator in our communities. Our people think that polygamy is some kind of opportunity to have orgies every night or something. Okay, they think you get a bunch of people somewhere and every day that's all you deal with. It ain't like that. I guarantee you. Okay. You might wish it was, but that's not it. It's all them different slavery time personalities, attitudes, envies, and jealousies, and selfishness, and everything you can think of. We got in us. And so by the time, if a man tries to have 2 women or 3 wives or whatever, by the time he finishes doing an exorcism on all of us, he's old and tired. We kill a man with the nonsense we practice. We make our man live a short time because we put so much pressure and nonsense on him. We make him think he ain't nothing. I hear a sister told me, I don't like that dude because he think he's something. I said, well, why can't he think he's something? I want to get to the root of that. Why can't a man that think he fine think he fine? Why? Why he can't think that? Because we don't want him to have that? Because we want to withhold anything that'll make him feel better about himself and in turn might make him feel better about me and my children? What we're practicing is never going to be successful for us. Oh, it may get us a house and a car, but it's not going to get us the love of a man. I don't mean the sex of a man. I ain't talking about no one night stand and weekend stand and every time we see each other stand. I ain't talking about that nonsense. I mean a man who is not there around the clock, because none of us, let me say this before I go, none of us don't want to be bothered with no man around the clock. We got too much to do. Okay? You just can't do it. I don't care what kind of Wonder Woman you think you are. You ain't never gonna be every woman to every man. That ain't gonna happen. All right.
So you agree with the lifestyle. You support the lifestyle. You're saying,
Well, I think that it is an option that we should have explored because polygamy is not for men to have sex. Polygamy is so that the women and children will be cared for. All the women and children. See? All right. If you want to have a husband,
You say that the Black woman would like to be a clone of the white woman.
Many of us, yes. That's unfortunate.
How do you see that?
Well, that's something that was almost accidental, I'd have to say. See, the white woman has been the only mentor that we have had of a female. We've seen.
If your white skin is so beautiful, why do you go to the beach and burn yourself to a crisp trying to get brown if it's so wonderful to be white?
What do this?
As you know, the purpose of school is...
The education system was created by the Rockefeller Foundation.
What is the crab in the bucket theory?
The fleas are placed inside the jar, and the lid is...
To understand the origin of feminism, right? You have to understand that this was...
Yeah, we went over there. Okay, so this is my next question because, like she said, what's your take on polygamy? I wouldn't do polygamy because the experience that I seen from my friends that I had that did it, and it didn't turn out good. Like having more than one woman, I can't even. I'm just trying to deal with the one I got. Yeah, like to get another chick on you, man, you'd be going crazy. They pretty much drive you into the ground. To me, what's your take on it?
I think polygyny has its place. Like Sister Ali said, it's not about men having sex. That might be the way men today think about it, but every woman and child would be provided for and protected. So it has its place. And for those who can participate in polygyny, I applaud them. and they have my full support. I have a nephew that has 2 wives. His family is the most structured out of everybody in the whole family. My mom and I talked about this the other day.
Wow.
He has 2 wives, and they have about 6 children. His children are disciplined, well behaved. You have to be more of a man in order to support more than one woman. You have to be very strong mentally and emotionally, psychologically. You have to be able to provide for them and that manage their emotions and take care of all the children. They have 6 children. Those 6 children are disciplined. He even took on a niece who was autistic, couldn't talk at all at 4. That child is now in a gifted program. So I'm not saying that this is the way it should be. I'm not saying that he is the template. I'm saying that I've witnessed him doing a phenomenal job at supporting his 2 wives. Now, we have grown up in a culture of monogamy, but we can see, what's happening within monogamy, that people are agreeing that they, for some reason, like variety, men and women. But if you agree to monogamy, my belief, my stance is you should operate within that system. But if you can cope in polygyny or polyandry, whatever, but polyandry makes a little less sense in terms of, in the frame of reference of where we live, sustainability. We have so many more women than men in the Black community. If we're talking about the Black community alone, women can go out now and choose outside of the community. But I'm saying if she wants a brother and she wants him to have all this money and she wants him to have it all together, there's not that many that can operate in that way up to that certain level. So I think it has its place. I honestly do. And if I were in charge, people want to bring back the matriarchy. If I were, I don't support that. I support 2 working together synergistically. But if I were in charge of the matriarchy, the first thing I would do is make sure every woman had a husband.
That's
That
good.
means even if he already had a wife. You know why? Because women are living on the street right now. Because women are now, because of all those hundreds of thousands of women that lost their jobs, are now without covering and protection and provision. Do we just want to see them suffer? You know what I'm saying? And but to the lady's point that spoke on that, we're acting like it's the government's fault that they're laying off all these women. Well, the government doesn't exist anymore. It's insolvent. It can't pay its debts. Somebody has to be let go. A lot of us women got those government jobs that really didn't matter. Okay, does it deal with the infrastructure? No. Do the government jobs help with the economy? Not the jobs women had. No. So they had to let go what made sense, and that was the women. Now, Kevin Samuels, most people don't like him, God rest his soul, but he told us winter was coming. If you didn't prepare, that's on you. Winter's here now. He was forecasting the financial landscape. The government is broke. Please hear me. Open up your ears, unclog your ears, lean forward. I have something to tell you. The government has no money. It is insolvent. The United States Treasury Department issued out a report that says the government is insolvent. That means they can't pay their debt. Furthermore, we're under a government shutdown right now. It's a partial shutdown, but the reason why we're shut down is because they're dismantling the United States Incorporated, called the government. Now, this is my realm, geopolitics. Okay. Women can get mad all day long, but instead of getting mad, we're going to have to think about how we can get along with our men. We're going to have to figure out how we can go back to our husbands or our child's father, or even enter into a new relationship so we can be provided for and protected. Otherwise, we're going to stay out in the cold and suffer. So yes, I support polygyny for those who desire to be a part of it. And I think it's a viable option. 100%. Absolutely.
What is your take on? It's a thing going around now on what was a couple Nubian sisters. They promoting dating white man. I don't date black man. I don't like black man. White man is better. White man is this. And then a sister that was saying that the white man ended up killing her, hanging her. And then he come back to America after that happened in Africa. Then a black brother was saying just the same thing. I date white women and this and that. I don't date sisters because they knuckleheads and this and that. What is your take on interracial dating and the psychological trauma of people hating their own kind?
I understand where we are. Okay. I understand what the system has done to our men, that so many of our men are in prison. So many of our men have turned to a homosexual lifestyle. So many of them have been molested. And so now they find themselves in a position where they have an appetite for men. Then you have men that participate in the underground economy because they've been shut out of spaces. So now they have to, maybe do things that are not right.
Mm-hmm.
So the woman finds herself in a position where she is fighting over a few men within a Black community. So if she goes outside of the community, I completely understand why. I think people should go where they're loved and appreciated. Of course, I think it would be wonderful if we could, find somebody who has the same culture as we, somebody who has the same values as we, because it makes the relationship, potentially makes it easier. But we're just in a conundrum now where we got to do something. It's either polygyny, date outside your race, love a woman, or be alone. So I think we're in a space where we're going to have to figure it out. What I say for my family, I don't say for the rest of the population. My family knows where I stand on a lot of things, but we're as a community, we've gotten into a situation where, we got to look outside of what we've been conditioned to accept and try to find somebody who can love us and treat us right. That's where I am.
Mm-hmm. Just yeah. Okay. Let me play this next clip. We got a couple more clips. Then we got to hear. Ain't gonna hold you long.
You say that the Black woman would like to be a clone of the white woman.
Many of us.
The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. Read it before she does. Why you say that?
Listen, I don't have to tell you that got me in a lot of trouble too. Okay. Well, because one of the reasons I wrote the book is because you all have been so naive about our behavior and motivations and our expressions and the double meanings of some of the things we do. You all have just been in the blind for many, many years. And I wanted to level that playing field because we have studied you all intently. We know what to say to make you happy. We know what to say to make you insanely mad. We know more about you than you know about us. We not only know more about you, we've told everybody else about you. The Black woman is the only woman in America who goes out publicly and talks about her man. We don't know what the Chinese man do.
The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the
This is
Black
my question
Woman.
right here.
Read it before she does.
Hold on, took
Why
that
you
off.
say that?
This is my question right here. For a strong woman that's intelligent and knows what she wants, a mature woman, what do you think they want? Is it what they want from a man or what they need from a man? What do you think will be a good man, or what women will want from a good man? That's got her head on straight.
Most women want somebody that can provide for them and protect them. However, we're living in a situation though, in a reality where women bring children to the relationship, debt, previous relationships. So I honestly think we need to kind of change our rhetoric. If you want somebody that can provide for you, but why can't you work with him? Why does he have to take on 100% of the bills? That makes no sense to me if you come with a whole bunch of debt. It makes no sense to me even if you're coming with somebody else's children. And women don't like to hear this, but a man that's taking on a woman with children is really looking at liabilities. My babies are everything to me. I love them. They're wonderful. Hey, don't say nothing about my babies, okay? Those babies are everything to me. But to a man that didn't help bring those children about, there are liabilities. Okay, they don't have his bloodline. They don't have his name if he didn't adopt them. So if you are going to a man expecting him to fully provide for you, take care of you and your children, you might need to be very, very thankful and appreciative and not expect him to just be this perfect example of a man that we have in our head. You know those Cinderella stories where the prince comes and scoops the woman off into the night and went on a white horse. All those Disney movies have really I don't know, hurt our mindset because we think men are completely perfect. They can't do no wrong. They're supposed to accept us and every man we slept with and everything we've done and all the debt we bring and all the children we bring and all the drama and all the trauma and just take it. And that's just not realistic. So what a man brings is if he has a job, why can't you work with that? Why does it have to be 6 figures? Most women just want somebody to love them and provide for them and protect them. But that's a caveat to that because today's women want unrealistic expectations. You hear them all online. You see them in the comment section. You know, I'm a counselor and a coach. You hear them in the therapy section. Men can do no wrong. Men cannot be a human being. They got to be way up here like a Prince Charming. So I don't know what these women want. Most women say they want provision and protection, but no, they don't. They want something that they dreamed up in their head that doesn't exist. We need to, my son and I talk about this all the time, lower your expectations, really, because and what I mean by that, I don't have to accept whatever, whatever. You know what I'm saying, Elder? I don't have to accept any man that comes to me. Okay, then stay alone. Then you're going to end up, you either stay alone or they're going to end up with a woman or they're going to get a dog. I see it in my own family. If we can learn to work with our men, and that means some of it, we're going to have to take a step back and we're going to change our paradigm. We need to learn it. Like Sister Ali said, everybody in the world knows that the Black man is God but us. Everybody knows that he's to be worshiped and he's to be modeled after, but except for the Black woman. Black men ain't ish. I can't stand men. I'm decentering from a man, but you all online showing your booty and doing everything you can to get some attention. Yeah, you want a man and you need a man. There's nothing wrong with saying, I need a man. I need help. I need somebody to hold me. I need somebody to make love to me. Do you let me tell you something about men? Let me ask for me and let me tell you, all the women that want to descend to men, I love men. I love brothers. I love you. I love your chocolate skin, your caramel skin, your thick lips, your high cheekbone. I love you. Dr. Kia loves, I love your broad shoulders, your strong chest, the way you move in your thighs when you walk that gait like nobody can stand in your way. I love everything about my brothers. Your thunderous voice, the breath when you speak. Oh my God. I love everything about you. If they don't want you, Dr. Kia Prue is single. My husband has passed on and transitioned. He was a good man, took care of me and left me in a good position, me and all 8 of our children. He taught me about finances, economics, and wealth, which is why I teach it so well. So I love my men. They provide structure, discipline, and order. I love that. He is the peace to my chaos, okay? He is the strength when I am weak. I love men. And when we get to that, we won't be so concerned about how much money he makes. Because, baby, when you bring what you got and I put it together with what I got, and mama gonna make sure we do well and we thrive.
Yeah.
That's what we should want. Somebody with whom we can work, who can take care of us and provide for us and protect us.
Mm-hmm. And usually it's just like this. Some men, they look good on the outside, but they bad on the inside. The same thing with women. Tyler Perry made this analogy in a movie called Temptations, where she was with a good husband. He was a pharmacist. He didn't make much money, but he loved her to death. But she wanted to go with the dude that had the airplane that's got out the Fortune 500 company. And then come to find out, he got all kind of women in there. He snorting powder. He doing all kind of crazy mess. And he had AIDS. In fact, he had AIDS. So that's devastating to leave somebody that was good for you and that was that was for you, and then leave him for somebody just because he looked good and he got some money. That's crazy.
A lot of that comes from having multiple sex partners. This is why we kept our women chaste. We don't use those words now. Chaste. You kept it because when you have fewer sex partners, you're protecting your energy, you're protecting your mind from being traumatized, you're protecting your heart from being heartbroken, and you're also protecting yourself so that you can be happy with and content with the man you have. But when you have multiple sex partners and multiple experiences, then you've had this man that had this and this man had that. Now you're comparing a person and you can't be satisfied. So we need to bring back chastity in my opinion. I mean, we're talking about, order, restoring order in our community. We need to bring out chastity. We need to bring out teaching women how to be graceful, elegant, sophisticated, how to present themselves, how to have etiquette, how to take care of the home, how to raise and nurture the children. Because if you don't do that, a woman's biology is going to kick in at some point. She's going to end up pregnant. I don't care how many degrees she has, how well she's done at the boardroom or whatever. When that biology kicks in, she's going to have sex. Now, when you don't teach her how to raise a child, then what she does, if she's not ready, she aborts the child, or she just decides not to have them, or she mistreats it. So let's get back to some of the fundamental ways that we did in our society. And meanwhile, on the other hand, the men should be training the men and bringing them up and teaching them how to take care of and love a woman, how to provide for them and protect them. Let's bring back those type of rites of passage programs, ideologies, and experiences so that the man and woman can learn how to get along with each other once they grow up. But it has to start when they're young. Now we've had all these experiences and we're on a line and we're exposed to all, each other and all this bickering and arguing back and forth. We don't know where we fit in society. Well, I'll tell you what we can do now. We can now be humble. And I don't mean, I'm not saying you should think lower of yourself, but we need to go to our men as women and apologize. And some of our men need to go to our women and apologize. Like, I've made some mistakes. I didn't respect you and who you are and in your right as a woman or in your position as a man. I'm going to do better. And we need to do better. But it starts with accountability. A lot of us don't want to take accountability. We've made all these mistakes, and now here we are in a predicament where we have thousands, hundreds of thousands of women that lost their job, and many of them sleeping in cars and on the street. That's not okay. That is not okay. And we have our men in prison. That's not okay. We always talk about wealth, and we're going to have humanitarian projects on my channel, and we're going to do this and that. Okay, let's have humanitarian projects to help our men come out of prison and be able to integrate back into society. Let's create schools and programs where we have etiquette programs to teach women how to behave like women, teach young girls how to protect their bodies and their energies, and how to take care of and nurture a child and support her husband.
Mm-hmm. I think the government, like we was talking about earlier, when the government became the man of the house, when they did the welfare and the section, and then now the government saying we don't need you, I don't want you no more, I don't want you. It's like a man that's saying he don't want the woman. So it's like us, man. It's like the system of change is coming to an end by default. The system, all the systems they should have.
Right.
But it might take us time to reset of how our tribes would normally were before all of this influence from outside, the outside demons and this demonic energy, this parasitic energy. It's gonna take us time to reset. But educating by us doing this class and we breaking all this down, it's gonna educate our people back to reality, man. Because we ain't living in reality when the way we treating each other in the relationships and how people argue over money. And most of relationships breaking up over money. It ain't got nothing to do with. It's mostly financial. That's what I realized. What do you think about that, Dr. Kia Pruitt?
I agree with you. It's mostly we argue over finances. But the thing about nature that I love, the thing about the universe, the way the universe works, the way God and the ancestors work, is you're going to find yourself in a position where you're going to have to figure it out. And so the same government, like you said, they gave us jobs and placated us and pacified us, and now saying, not only do I not want you, I can't take care of you. Zaddy said, I'm out of money. Well, remember when your husband or man was out of money, you yelled at him and you may have left him for somebody and you argued and you ain't gonna do that to Zaddy because the government don't care nothing about you for real. Now we're gonna figure it out. I bet you a lot of those women that say I'm strong, independent Black woman, I don't need nobody, or I can do it, I'm a boss chick. I bet you now they softening up. The ancestors want us to learn a lesson. I bet you now we're saying I need help. And if you can swallow your pride, maybe your husband will take you back. Maybe your baby's father will say, "Come on back home." Or maybe you could go live on with the parents, the same ones you didn't want to live with. You know, I'm just saying society has a way of humbling us. Society humbled me when my husband and I separated and I moved into a place. As a little self-disclosure here. This was in the 90s. I got a knock on my door with two people, a man and a woman with a badge. I didn't know who they were. They came and traumatized my children. Tell a story to this day. They're in their 30s. They found out that a piece of mail with my husband's name came to my address. I was getting food stamps at the time. Mm-hmm. And they said, we found Douglas Lattimore lives here. And I was like, who are you? And they were like, we're from such and such investigators. And I'm like, well, that's my legal husband. Why wouldn't he have mail come here? If he got a debt, he was student loan debt that was coming to my house. Of course, is they going to send it to my place. When I tell you, Elder, they tore up my house. They overturned drawers. They ransacked cabinets. They pulled stuff out of the refrigerator, threw stuff on the floor, went through my children's. What are you looking for? Evidence that you have a man here. I was like, my husband? 1994. I remember November 15, 1994.
Wow.
Talking about being humbled. I cried. Got my children together and they cried, we cried. I wiped their tears. We ate dinner, went to bed. That next morning, I went to Mr. Welfare. I said, you can take what that little $125 you gave me in food stamps. You could take that.
Yeah.
I called my husband, think I didn't, and his family and said, I need help. I'm not going to live like this. I'm not strong. I'm not independent. Yes, I heard this from all the women that preceded me. You can do bad by yourself. You don't need a man. And I had 4 children at the time. You can go, you got a degree. You can do it. And I bought into it because we had issues. But that humility kicked in, Elder. I called my husband. I was like, I can't take this no more. And I called his sister. I called his family. I humbled myself. Now I ain't telling everybody what you got to do. I'm telling you what Dr. Kia Pruitt did. And I was on the first thing smoking back to my family. You hear me?
Mm-hmm. Family strong, telling you, stronger than by yourself, for sure.
Way we do better with all that. You did this and I did that, and I don't like you. All that went under the rug. We have to stop holding people to the fault or the mistake that they made when we're human too. Just like we needed grace for something, the other person needs grace too. When are we going to learn to extend grace? See, the thing about women, we'll hold on to something forever and we'll maul over. And this is, ruminate like we don't have any faults. And another thing we do is we call everything abuse because we haven't been raised with a man. So if a man raises his voice or he speaks his opinion or he wants structure and order and discipline, oh, you're being narcissistic and you're abusive and this is toxic masculinity. No, masculinity is not toxic. It's order, it's structure, it's discipline.
That's right.
It's not, and we learned this word narcissist, and now everybody's narcissistic except you. If everybody in your family and every man you dealt with and your mom and your dad and everybody around you is narcissist, and let me tell you, the common person is you.
Yeah.
We need to start taking accountability for where we are in our lives and extend grace to others and heal our relationships. Even if it was the other person's fault, it doesn't hurt you. It shouldn't to go to them and make things right for the sake of the children. If you don't care about yourself, you don't care about your man, what about the children? Because I hear women all the time. I'm doing well by myself. My children are happy. I'm doing this and that. Let me talk to your children.
Right.
Let me see how they think about what you say about their father. Let me see how they feel about you living in poverty or having this strong Black woman mentality. Let's talk to the baby. My baby's fine. No, let me talk to them. And I said I didn't want to talk about this, but even this whole talk about bringing back women being, the matriarch. We need to bring this back. Well, I need to know what that looks like exactly, because the Black community is full of matriarchs, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, the Black community is full of women leading their households.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what is that looking like in our homes? Why are we so against the male that we want to lead everything in our society? Why can't we work synergistically with him? Because the law of the universe is that there's a masculine principle and a feminine principle, and we both need to work together in harmony, synergy,
balance.
and balance. That now, if we're talking about that, bringing it back femininity, bringing about the feminine principle, then I can get with that because that will balance the man. But if we're talking about overtaking or overshadowing him, I'm not down with that because we already have that and it's not working out well as the children.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody that wants to bring back, I've heard women tell men, bow, you're gonna bow to me. We're gonna bow. Why would you say something like that? No, we want to work together in love and in harmony. I'm sorry, I went on a rant there because
go ahead. Go ahead. Let the ancestors move. Tell it like them, let them talk. Go ahead.
I see the predicament with that we're in, and people keep asking, I need you to speak on, how we need to bring back, the rise of the woman. And we're already, in my mind, I'm sorry, Elder. I said I wouldn't talk about it. I don't want to upset anybody.
No. Hey, you entitled. We take in perspectives. I take in perspectives. I want to hear why they disagree. I want to hear all of the stuff so I can put it all on the table and then come up with a solution to how to include everybody and everybody be happy. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody come to a common ground on the matriarch versus the patriarch. Like I think I agree with you. Like it should be like, to me, it was like the women came out with like the laws and solutions, and the man's enforced it. The man's made sure it was legit. Made like, okay, this what the rules are. All right, you do this. I'm saying that's how my daddy was. Like, even though my daddy was gone all the time because he was a gangster, but my dad respected my mom, and he's an enforcer. Like, if you ain't do what your mama say, I'm gonna bust you upside your head. And you don't want my dad. Yeah, I'm gonna bust you up and back. And my dad's a nice guy too, though. He was nice, but he was gangster too, though. But he had a good heart. So he was the one that stayed like a country boy. So he stayed at home, and his dad worked him from sun up to sundown. That's how he worked us. I guess that's why I worked so hard, because my dad used to work me up from sun. Like, we used to get up at 6, work all the way till it get dark. And then he'll feed you much as you want, but you're gonna work, boy. You're gonna break your back. I hated going down my daddy's house because he'll find something for you to do. He'll find that you go out washing houses, chopping wood, wash my truck, and then always a spot on it, wash it all over again. And then one day I got mad because he said, man, wash it over again. I threw the towel on the ground. He came out there and snatched me up and said, boy. And like, I ain't really never get. I was a good kid. My brother the one that got all the whoopings. I ain't really never get a whooping. I think I might have got 2 or 3 whoopings my whole life from my mom and between my mom and my dad. And then the one time I got out of the 3 whoopings, I got a whooping because I was with my brother and them, and they was stealing. I didn't steal, but I was with, since I didn't say nothing, I got a whooping with them. Yeah, so it was like that type of thing. Yeah, so to me, we got about 10, 15 minutes left. We'll take some questions from the crowd. If y'all want to ask Dr. Kia Pruitt a question, we'll take about 2 or 3 questions from the crowd, then we'll get out of here. Be sure to go subscribe to Dr. Kia's YouTube channel. She go live just about every other day, and she have different guests on. Shout out to Duke of Tears. Duke of Tears, that's one of my guys. He be on, Duke. So it's a lot of people. You need to go subscribe to Dr. Kia's Pruitt's YouTube channel. And if you want to show us some love on the donations, we're gonna be posting the Cash App in just a second. Somebody let's see if we got some good questions coming.
Okay, let's go.
Matter of fact, I got a question to start it out. Okay. The crab and the barrel, the crabs and the barrel analogies. Yes, it seems like to me, and we know it's about design, that the different foreigners own most of the real estate over here. How's that happening? And we the indigenous people, and we got to pay them rent. We paying the foreigners. It's Chinese man over here on 10 houses, and then new people that's indigenous to this land paying him rent. Now, I figured out that the banks would play a part in this, and the redlining and all that, where they'll give these guys $300,000-$400,000 in loans, but they won't give us crap. Yeah. And that's kind of like loosely too. Some people find a loophole, some brothers, and get the money right once they find a loophole. But it's easier for foreigners to get large loans from banks to come buy up our community, to buy up the stores, open up businesses in our community, and then we wonder, they drain the money from our community, send it back overseas, or keep it in their pocket, and then our community steady going down. It looks like a hood. It becomes a ghetto because the money is being outsourced. What is your take on that? On all these foreigners owning everything, and then we sitting here had to pull up by our bootstraps, as they say.
Yes, the government has systematically done a number on us. Taking the land from our ancestors and then giving it to foreigners. But this is a whole new era in which we're living, and that's why President Trump he's doing away with the H-1B visas that allowed a lot of Indians and Chinese people to come here. Most of them already had money, so they would come here on these H-1B visas and work and buy land that was stolen from our ancestors. So he's attacking that. He's attacking pregnancy tourism, where again, rich, and you can look it up, rich Asians, mostly Chinese, were coming, and others though, were coming over here pregnant, delivering their babies so that their children can automatically become a United States citizen. And then as a United States citizen, they get benefits, and their parents, because they had children that were citizens, would get benefits. But this is being overturned because what happened historically is that the attorneys were using the 14th Amendment to justify making children, foreign nationals, children that were born here, citizens. That 14th Amendment clause was not for foreign nationals. That President Trump mentioned this. Constitutional attorneys would tell you this. These people are committing treason. The 14th Amendment was created after the Civil War for the children of African-American slaves, and that's it. So they're misinterpreting the law or the amendment intentionally to bring foreign nationals over here so they can do well and misplace us, displace us. So President Trump is saying, I'm ending birthright tourism or pregnancy tourism. I'm coming against birthright citizenship, all these H-1B visas where you have 90,000 new processed H-1B visa people coming here every single year. So you bring 90,000 a year, plus you bring their spouse, that's another 90. It's 180,000 people on H-1B visas, mostly Indians and Chinese. Then you have 400,000 H-1B visas that are processed or renewed every year. So President Trump is saying, as of 2027, no more H-1B visas, because these people were taking jobs in finance, engineering, medicine, and architect. And Chief Mack, who's in the comment section, and I did a show on how millions of fake medical degrees were sold to Indians here in America from India. Millions of fake medical degrees and healthcare certificates and licenses sold from India to Indians that are here. This is why we have so many misdiagnoses in the Black community. They did a number on us, and most of them was done practicing medicine on us. So the H-1B visas gotta go. After we found out that they were getting those top jobs, then they start taking the lower level jobs, the Amazon jobs, the service jobs. So we got to get rid of those. The F1 visas, those are the international students that come over here. They might say, I want to study English. They'll study English. Then as long as they file the 120 form, they can stay here as long as they want on the F1 visa, an international student. I'm going to come and I'm going to just study English. They finish English, then they go get an associate's degree, a 2 years degree. Then they get a 4-year degree. Then they'll go and say, I'm going to study medicine. Or even as an undocumented student, they can get a law degree in America. And then they'll say, well, now I want a second master's, and now I want a second bachelor's, and they would just stay here forever and never change their status. Those F1 visas are now being done away with. All these different visas have to be done away with so that we can make America great for Americans. Okay. People ask all the time, when was America ever great? Study and do your history, learn to close your lips and listen and study, and you won't be so quick to react. President Trump is working on behalf of the indigenous people.
Hey, that's right. Hey, shout out Chief Mack in the chat with all the super chats. Now, because he said something about the trust. I got a whole playlist called The Hustler's Manual where I break down how to set up the trust. And that brings me to the next question. It's the Hustler's Manual playlist. I got break down how to set up the trust and all that. I actually got classes with other guests coming on teaching it in that playlist. What is your take on, because the Rothschilds, that's one of their mechanisms to keep family wealth. They set up a trust and they set up life insurance policy. So when they die, the money go into the trust and it just keep perpetuating. And if they need to get some money, they just borrow it from the trust. Also, trust protect your property It protects your camera went off. Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm here.
Yeah. Okay. It protects your property. It protects pretty much like a LLC kind of, but similar. But what is your take on us operating in trust and putting our estates in the trust, like the chief and Max said?
Oh, I think that is very wise. So what you do is you never want to own property, because if you own property, the government can tax you. Somebody can sue you. Somebody will always know what you have. Somebody can steal from you. So you never own property. You own nothing but control everything. You put your assets in a trust, your property, all your property, your wealth, your silver, your gold, everything you have, anything that's of value to you, your rings, your jewelry, you put everything in a trust, and then the trust holds your assets. Okay. And then you control the trust. So it's how the Rockefellers do it, it's how rich people do it, is how now we're teaching other people to do it. We're teaching people in our community to accumulate wealth and then to protect wealth. So I think it's a very wise way. And as a matter of fact, I wasn't going to bring it up, but since you talked about wealth, I just wrote a book. Here's my manuscript. It's called The Silver Legacy.
Fire. Oh yeah, fire. That's why I asked you about silver too, about the JP Morgans. Because I know Arisha's big on that. He got me on it on buying the silver, and how JP Morgan is now building a silver refinery. They just went in Venezuela, took all that silver. It's definitely something going on in the background that they don't want the main mass population, or especially us, the Nubians, who land this is our land. And it seems like they're gonna switch the money system, but they ain't like they trying to stay rich. The rich people trying to stay ahead of the system as it pretty much get rid of them or change the way they've been doing things. You know what I'm saying? But the silver is important. Like, so could you go in on that a little bit, or how important it is to critique buy metals now and this fiat currency, versus commodity money? Go ahead.
Fiat currencies, or the greenbacks, the dollar that we see every day, they're phasing out totally. The Treasury Department approved Trump's plan to phase out paper currency altogether. We see that happening. Most of us use ATM cards, online banking anyway, but this was a part of a plan to destroy the Federal Reserve central banks, which is attached to the United States government. Remember, I said the government no longer exists. It's being dismantled and dissolved because the Supreme Court overturned the powers that the government had and said they were unconstitutional. It's being dismantled. Therefore, they have to destroy the monetary system that was attached to it. The same Supreme Court that overturned the Chevron doctrine that gave the government unlimited powers in June of 2024 came back, the Supreme Court did in 2024, the next month in July, and said, now we're going to get rid of the Federal Reserve. And the way to do that is to say state-sponsored banks can operate independently from the Federal Reserve central banking system and issue out their own gold-backed currencies. This is why banks have been accumulating gold and silver in record numbers over the last 10 years, preparing for this. This is also why countries have decided to use their own currencies backed by precious metals for trade. It was a secret or covert operation that was happening behind the scenes. But now we're at the point where in America, 45 states have removed or repealed the state taxes, sales taxes from the sales of precious metals. When you remove taxes from precious metals, you are acknowledging that silver and gold is money. We have 45 states. That means there are only, five more states to go, and we'll be completely on a gold standard. Look at the King's World article that says the whole world is rushing or hurtling back to gold as money. So if you want to be ahead of the game, because banks are accumulating gold and silver and your record numbers, get you some gold and silver. It's not only a hedge against inflation, because as the dollar loses value, loses its purchasing power, gold and silver maintain its purchasing power because it's lawful constitutional money, it's biblical money. It heals you. It addresses your ailments. It raises your vibrations. It cleanses your pineal gland. Gold and silver. That's why we used to wear it. We're gods. We are the kings and the gods on this earth. Okay. So it does so many things for you, and it is money. Get you some. Even if you say, I don't have a lot of money, it's not in my budget to get gold. Gold is like $4,100 an ounce. Get silver. Silver is like $59 an ounce per night. And if you can't afford silver bullion, then consider sterling silver, which is 92% silver, or constitutional silver, which they erroneously call junk silver, which is 90% silver. You can go online. You can go use my affiliate, Miles Franklin Precious Metals Company. Y'all can go to my channel and see how to get in touch with him, but get some silver from him or any online dealer. Get it from Orisha Stone, who's a colleague of both of ours now, but a good friend of the young elders. Or go to an antique shop, go to an estate sale, go to your own local coin company, get you some silver. It feels good, it's real metal. Again, it raises your vibrations and is lawful money. If you can't afford gold, get gold backs. Go to goldback.com or go to your local coin dealer. Gold backs is 24 karat gold pressed onto a note. It's like a thousandth of an ounce or something, a hundredth of an ounce, something like that. But it's real lawful money that you can use right now to buy local goods and services in your state. Mainstream media is not going to talk about that. Dr. Kia Pruitt, I've been talking about this since 2017, and I've had 8 channels removed because, like elders say, they don't want us to know that that's our money. That's our wealth. It's not only money, but it's something it's wealth. The owner, the CEO of Miles Franklin Precious Metals Company, with whom I have an affiliation, and he's been on my show several times. Andy Sheckman taught me this. Don't just look at it as money. Gold is wealth. It's something you can pass down to your posterity and to your children. It will always have value. They've been using gold and silver since the beginning of time, which is why the Anunnaki came here, allegedly, mine gold. That's your realm. That's your area right there.
Yeah.
I have to yield to you on that. But allegedly they came here to mine gold that we had.
Yeah.
So get you some. Hold on to your computers. Hold on to your cell phone. They have silver in them. Now they're telling you, sell back your cell phone. We'll give you some dollars because it has silver in it.
Yeah.
Your appliances have silver. Your catalytic converter has more than silver. It has palladium in it. That's why they say, bring it, haul it, pull it, drag it. They want you to sell your wealth. Don't fall for it, family.
Hey, shout out Chief Mac. You wanted to send Chief Mac my number so I can get him on and we could do a breakdown on the trust. He said he created a 508c1a trust. I would like to get rid of him on to break that down. So, hey, Chief, get my number from Dr. Kia Pruitt and just text me and tell me it's you. We're gonna set up a date to do that breakdown, man. I think that'll be a good breakdown that the tribe needs to know about.
Yeah, because that is the Rockefeller Trust that protects you from the jurisdiction of the government. And that's financial advisors don't talk about that. They're not allowed to. Even when I was writing my book, all the financial advisors that critique my book was like, you can't say that, or you got to use a disclosure. But Chief Mac has done it. He's helped people to get their trust, put their assets in their trust, to then go to the bank and fund their trust. And when these people would go to the bank, the bankers would ask, how do you know about this trust? Who told you about it? Who's this Chief Mac? You know what I'm saying? So he is the chief of the Soul Tribe. He's a very good friend of mine, business partner of mine, very upstanding man. I think you would appreciate his work. He loves the people. He's been really good to the people. So I appreciate the work that he does for the Soul Tribe and currencies, young elder. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's another thing people can invest in at very, very low cost. If you can't afford silver, you can't afford gold, then consider foreign currencies, because now these countries that had their currencies devalued through war or through sanctions, now they're going to revalue their currency based on the resources because now they're liberated. Countries, they're not talking about this in mainstream media. Countries are now becoming sovereign. They're kicking out colonists. The Africans that were colonized by the French, Burkina Faso, Niger, who else? Senegal, Chad, and Mali. They all kicked out the French. And they said, we got our own military. All nations are doing this all over. They're not telling you this. While they repatriated their gold back to themselves, and now they have control of their wealth, and they're going to back their currencies with their wealth. So now if you buy up those currencies while they're low, while the rate is still low, once they flip that switch and say, we're going to reinstate the currency back to its lawful value, and we're going to revalue it based on all the resources we now have access to in our own country, you're going to be rich when you go to the bank. It happened before in 1991 with the Kuwaiti dinar. These are things I talk about in my private group on my channel. So if you want to know about that type of thing, they have to join my private group. But get currencies, because you can become very, very, you can buy $1 million worth of Vietnamese dong for like $70. And then if they put it back to its lawful rate of like, maybe $3 even, but multiply that 1 million times 3, that's $3 million. And it's going to, and now they're saying that the countries, all countries around the world, are going to be 1-to-1 with each other. We'll talk about that later if you join my private group.
Yeah, that's gonna be good. Hey, y'all, make sure you go and subscribe right now to Dr. Kia Pruitt's YouTube channel as soon as we get off, and join that group if you want to get that exclusive information. Also, if you're on right now, we got about 400 and some people on. Everybody send Dr. Kia Pruitt $20 for the class. Show us some love, $5, $10, whatever you got. It'll be greatly appreciated. Yeah, Chief. Go ahead.
I said it sure will be. Thank you so much, family. I love you. Thank you, Elder. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, thank you for coming on and kicking it with us. The Cash App is on the screen right there. It's Mama Kia 13. Hey, Chief Mac, man, we gonna have to get together and do that trust class. I got a whole bunch of classes on it, but it's my first time hearing of that one you just said. I would like to get on and do a class with that, brother. That'd be dope. On the so just send him my number whenever you can, Dr. Kia Pruitt, and he'll text me and then we'll set it up.
That's exciting.
I got Top Cat coming on Friday to break down the 5 indigenous tribes. That's gonna be lit. Yeah, so everybody show some love. Like I say, send follow on Instagram, TikTok. Man, you got a TikTok, don't you, Dr. Kia?
I do.
Okay, I'm about to add the TikTok. I don't got the TikTok, and I'm about to add that TikTok to the links.
Okay.
What else? Hey, y'all, this was lit, man. I mean, you got to run it back if you late. Somebody says, what was one of the biggest challenges for you in your awakening as breaking away from the church? Dr. Kia Pruitt.
Ooh, the biggest challenge for me was feeling like I would disappoint God. That was the biggest challenge, because we were told that if you leave the church, you're leaving God. And and that's one of the biggest sins you could do, is leave your community. So that was a serious challenge. Like, I actually went to counseling, honestly, because I was scared that I was disappointing God, the Creator, the Most High. How could you walk away? But the way I found peace was to go within, and I realized that I am the church, and that God and my ancestors and all the information that that I taught was within me, and I can be that great example of a person that lived from within, and I found peace in that. I am the church, and Jesus said that the kingdom of heaven is within. So why am I worried about whether or not I go to church or not? And now look how you like me now. No, look now, the church, my church now. My community now consists of tens of thousands of people, thanks to you all.
And I think
if you want me to,
man, you said, man, what was that?
I said I'll answer in any other questions that you have.
Okay, yeah. We'll take about 2 more. Drop it in the chat. Somebody asked. It was a while back. They said, What is Fidelity Investments? You know anything about that? I use that as a trust?
Oh no, I don't know about Fidelity.
I think Fidelity is for stock. It's the stock market, I think. I think this is what my brother be using.
I think that's what my son go ahead.
Man, my brother then got he like a half, he up $500,000 off the stock market.
Wow.
Yeah, since he got out of jail. He only been out of jail like 2 years, and he got out. He already had like 60,000 on there. And he just been working. He done bought him a whole 4 acres. He getting his house built. Yeah, he riding around in a Maserati, and he just got out of jail. Yeah, and he studied. Before he, and it's the killer. Before he went to jail, I taught him how to do the stock market, right? And because I had got into it hard, and then. I just feel like I had bad luck, because every time I would put a large amount of money on something that I thought that was gonna hit, it seemed like the government said, because they made an announcement They had it was Microvision. I had put like $2,000 on it, and then they made an announcement the same day. They said if he's in it, then we don't want to be in it. And then the next day, it shit just went to the ground. Yeah, it's like I'm wondering who the hell was he. You know what I'm saying? Who the hell was he? He's in it. Yeah, like yeah, man, they leaked. So I was like, man, maybe these suckers just don't want me to shine or something, man. But my brother, he doing pretty good up in the stock market. It says, he says right here, it says, Dr. Kia, what are you most excited about with the matriarch resurgent to rebalance everything? Like what would you like about the matriarch? I guess I don't know how you word it.
So
Matter of fact,
okay. When they when they talk about the matriarchy coming back, what does that look like? What do they mean exactly?
They said reinsurgent to rebalance everything. So I guess this is what they're saying. They saying that the patriarch seem like it's controlling everything now, but when the matriarch come back to rebalance everything, what do you think? What would be exciting about that? Like to bring the woman back in, because it seems like the elites are mostly men that's running the world. I guess that's what they're saying.
Oh, okay. If you bring the woman back in to rebalance things, how would that look? Or what am I most excited about? Well, if the women are coming in with the mindset that she's going to work with her man, I think it would be a beautiful thing. But if she's coming in with I'm going to take over, then I think that it could cause dissension. So it really depends upon the mindset of the matriarchy that's rising up. Matriarchal systems are really about systems that support egalitarian. So I did study anthropology, and in anthropological studies, you look at relics, you look at the writings and the things like that. And so matriarchal systems were more so matrilineal, where you had female gods and male gods. So you didn't just have this pervasive masculine energy surging through the community or through religion. You have female gods and male gods, and they were both respected and honored. You had female roles and male roles. So the women were in control of the house and most of the village and the things. And the men were kind of on the peripheral because they were off at war. So, so that's the way it looked. It wasn't this fighting or not. And by the time men come back, they are just there to make sure there's order and structure. But, if you're going to do it like that, I think it would be beautiful. I think it would be amazing. But it starts with the mindset. A lot of us women have to make sure we're not coming in with the patriarchal mindset if we come into certain roles.
I think that the women, I love, just like you said, you love the men, like how you went into that beautiful breakdown. I feel the same way about the Nubian women, man. Like y'all beautiful, y'all are goddess. I treat women like goddess. Unless they act otherwise. If you act mean and all that, you know what I'm saying, that's different. But if I treat you like a goddess, you know what I'm saying. Me, I like to lift women up. But they say, oh, that's a problem. You put them on a pedestal. I always put my woman on a pedestal because she a goddess. But that's just my way I move. My granddaddy was like that. My daddy was like that. So it's just a conditioning thing for me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, my daddy ain't never hit no woman. My granddaddy ain't never hit no woman. It ain't even a thought pattern. Like to put your hands on a woman. That's crazy. We cut people's hands off for that. Where I'm from, we cut people's hands off for hitting women. Yeah, clean off. I'm telling you. So it's and I saw a brother the other day. Some dude was doing something to his daughter. Man, he choked that brother out. Her father was there he said, man, you went in that room without my permission with my daughter. Man, he choked that brother. He had that brother as a sleeper, man. I said, boy, we need more daddies like that because that'll stop a lot of the madness. That'll stop a lot. Like we were saying earlier, if you took that person to your dad will be able to tell, especially if you got a dad like me, like my dad, they'll be able to say, oh yeah, this dude, I don't like him. I don't like him, man. And my people were nice people. It don't take much for them to like you, right? So if they didn't like you, boy, you you was like bad news. If they ain't like it, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you, because they test you by the spirit. They'll test your spirit and see how your spirit is, and they can read just my people was spiritual people, so they can see your. They'll be able to once they around you for a while, hear you talk, see how you move. They'll be able to say, okay, his spirit is good. So yeah, so everything else will be good if his spirit is good. Yeah, that's how they go about it.
I love that.
We got any more questions for the doc before we get out of here, y'all? We got any more? Somebody says, Dr. Kia Pruitt, do you know your kin number or your family melanated immortals? She's saying, will you be using the cosmos to support your agenda for help, community, and family? I might have to post that comment so you can see it. So I might push that up because I ain't got my glasses on. I got these damn shades on.
Do you know your kin number? Are you familiar with? I am familiar with Melanated Immortals. I met her on Orisha Stone's show. Is that who they're talking about?
Yeah, Melanated Immortals. It's like a group of women.
Okay, so we've only spoken once, and so possibly we'll speak again so that I can. Will I be using that cosmology? I don't know their cosmology. But I think that's a beautiful question. I'll have to link up with her to see what you're talking about.
I think they're gonna be on. We're gonna have them on next week. Me and Rich about to go live at 9:00 again on the crystals.
Okay.
Yep. Let's see. We got somebody else. Somebody says, how do you start ancestral research? You got anything on that, Dr. Kia Pruitt?
No, my son hired somebody, but I don't know who he hired to look into our ancestry. He did a phenomenal job. I have to come back with that answer.
Yeah, what they need to do is start with asking your grandma, ask your great auntie, the oldest person that's still living. Ask them ask them about their grandparents, because if your great grandma or your grandma, they were living when their grandparents was living, right? So you ask them about their grandparents. Try to trace back 4 generations if you can. That's what I started asking somebody older in your family, because I got historians in my family. Like I got a younger cousin, his name Corey. He about 2-3 years older than me, but he know the whole family thing. He can tell you, our big mama had the land right here, and the DuPont. He said that the DuPonts came in and burned her house down, and then they started. What they did is they set her house on fire in the middle of the night. The clans, and she had like 200 and some acres. Well, it was like more than it was like 2,000 or some acres. Once they burned her house down, she had to move in with my auntie. And then they brought their cows and started squatting their cows on her land. Yeah. And check this. And then so eventually they tried to get to steal the land under squatters' rights. Our cows been grazing here, right? But then my auntie, she had a law degree, so she was real smart. So my aunt Shutta, so she went down and got the land back. Man, the next day the police shot her at the club. She got shot, and they didn't kill her though. They didn't kill her. She sued the Cashado. She sued Cashado for $2 million, and we got $2 million. The Washington family got $2 million from Cashado for the police shooting her. And then they just kept harassing my whole family. So we ended up moving from Cashado off of the Indian reservation land to Shreveport. And when Shruti got the money, she moved our whole family to Shreveport, and we bought us a brand new church in Shreveport. When we got to Shreveport, my auntie still was after the land. She never stopped getting after the land, right? They sent people to Shreveport to shoot her again. Shot her car up, she lived. Yeah, she lived. The second time they tried to kill her, shot her car, right? And then she sued them people, right? Got some money, and then she moved to California and got the hell out of Louisiana. And she just said, you know what? She just stopped going after the land because they was trying to kill her. But it was the DuPonts, who was one of the 13 families that was trying to steal that 2,000 acres down in Cashado. That's Indian territory. My grandma, she a Cashado Indian. My big mama. Yeah, so they were trying to steal her land. It passed down from her daddy. Her daddy left it to her, and he was a Cashado Indian. Yeah, so yeah, it's history of them doing like these people are ruthless. That's what we didn't calculate how ruthless they were when it comes to stealing our shit, and they ruthless. Yeah. But my cousin had told me that story, right? I knew a little bit about it, but my cousin broke the whole thing down, tell me why they was trying to kill and shit about the land. I was like, man, that's crazy, that them people was there that say a big mama land.
But how does it feel knowing that your family had wealth? How does that make
$2 million? She got $2 million. Actually, she had got $8 million total. After she did all the lawsuit, it was like $8 million settlement. Like, well, it was $2 million for the first, and then $6 million for the last time they tried to kill her. Yeah, they wanted that. Yeah, so I might need to get my aunt sister on here to tell that story because she kind of old. She like 70-something years old now. She lives in California.
Plus, you had a lot of land. That's wealth. You came from wealth. That's a beautiful story. Yes.
Our whole family and my grandma, my big mama had 21 children. My aunt sister is one out of 20. She got 20 brothers and sisters. And my aunt sister is my granddaddy's sister. So my granddaddy Charles Washington, his sister is Sister Washington. So yeah, the Washingtons, we are the Washita people. You know what I'm saying? So
I was just thinking that.
I'm a direct descendant of the Washita. So yeah, and then my mother's name, she Williams. My grandma, her name Flo Williams, and that's my mama's name was on her birth certificate because she was born before they got married.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm gonna try to get in touch. If I can't get in touch with Aunt Shifter to do it, because I don't know how she is with going on like social media. But I can get Corey, my cousin Corey. He younger. He'll come on and tell the whole story in detail on how they tried to kill Aunt Shifter, and she ended up suing them for that money. Yeah, but we got to get up out of here because I'm about to have some downtime. Before I go live at 9, we about to go live again right at 9 o'clock with Orisha Stone and the Stone sisters tonight. But like I say, everybody right now, go after you get off. If you ain't subscribed to Dr. Kia's Pruitt's page, be sure to go subscribe as well. Follow her on Instagram and TikTok. We're gonna add the TikTok to this chat after. And what else we want to say? You want to say anything else before we get out of here, Dr. Kia Pruitt?
I just want to say thank you so much for having me. I'm a big fan of the show. I try to support you as much as I can and watch you when you go live. People don't know you and I met probably like 3 years ago, and we did a show with Chief Pontiac. Yeah. So I'm very honored and grateful that you have me. Thank you, and thank you for your tribe to your tribe as well for having me, and thank you for my soul tribe for being here as well. Thank you. I'm honored and very grateful.
Thank you too. You did an extremely good job, huh?
Thank you, sir. I want to tell everybody from my channel, from the Dr. Kia Pruitt Show, to please subscribe to the Young Elder Show and watch him. Hit the like button to his video. He did a great documentary earlier today that many of us watched with him. So the man is phenomenal. I love the things he talked. I love when you talk about ETs and mermaids. I try to catch all those shows because that's something you don't hear a lot about. He is very in depth with the research, and he supports his claims with documented facts. So subscribe to his channel, watch his show, and bless him with the Cash App as well. $ The Young Elder, $THE.
Oh yeah, I'll drop it in the chat.
ELDER. That's it.
All right, y'all. You heard it here first. This was a good breakdown. We needed this breakdown because this on the strong sisters and the sisters to know the psychological tactics that is being, like, a lot of this stuff is about design. It's not because we leaning into it. No, they are influencing us. They are trying to mind control us into this so they can keep us divided and conquered. That's what it's about.
Can I ask you one last thing? Is it okay? Is it okay for a woman to be soft and say, I need help?
Right.
Is it? I'm asking you as a man. Is
yes, ma'am. Hey, if you say, look, that's gonna make me go even harder for you. If you say that, I need help. Yeah. If you say, look, me, like I said, people say, you don't pay all the bills, but I try to pay all the bills. I try to make sure you don't got no worries. I just want you to just use your brain to prepare yourself up. Like, whatever you try to do, whether it's real estate, whatever you're doing, just be focused on that and go high as you can. And I'm gonna help you go high as you can with it. I'll push you right on in the door. right?
we don't
Because
have
if
to
you
be
win, I
strong.
win. If you win, I win.
So we don't have to be strong and try to do everything on our own.
No,
We
that's
can ask for help. Okay.
no, that's all. Like I said, that's by design. That is a CIA. We know what the CIA is all about. The crooks in action. They are crooks in action. Yeah. So yeah. So they all about. This was never this type of mindset that they trying to play on us. It was never our mindset. We always had a tribal mindset and a collective mindset that everybody's on the same path. But then they come in, they gotta keep us arguing, keep us fighting, separate us, break us apart in order for us not to win. And while they still laughing on top, collecting the cash and rolling it and they collecting silver and gold, really, and diamonds and all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So on that note, man, we gonna a woman, it's okay for you to be feminine, and it's okay for you to be sexy and think you the sexiest woman alive and you the beautiful. It's okay, right? It's okay. That's beautiful, right? Because if you think so, if a person think it, so is them. And so if you think, as long as you beautiful on the inside, to me, because I ain't even care about like the outside, it's like all right, but I gotta check your content of your character, like Martin Luther King said. Judge a person not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. So if your character is evil, the outside is evil to me, because there ain't no use to deal with the outside if the inside is evil. So if you look good on the inside, you look good on the outside, and all sisters are beautiful. No matter if you big and skinny, small, tall. Hey, because I look at the spirit. The spirit of the Nubian sister, the goddesses, is divine to me. It's divine. Mother is divine to me. I love my mama. I love my grandma. My mom and my grandma was born on the same exact day. My mama was born May 2nd, and my grandma was born May 2nd.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, both was my grandma had my mama on her birthday. So
Wow.
so it's like my mama's is always everything I ask. I can call my mama right now. I need $100 or something, whatever. She gonna send it. She don't never turn me down. Yeah, especially if you got it. Yeah, so I love my mama. I love women. Period. Just like you love the brothers.
Absolutely.
I think all sisters are the powerfulest people in the world, and that they really could run the world. I believe the Nubian woman really run the world. She got the power to run the world, and but they use mind control and different tactics to get us off of that type of thinking. You know.
Yes, sir. Beautiful.
Yep. And on that note, we out, y'all. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Everybody send Dr. Kid Pruitt $25 right now if you have it. $5, $10, whatever you got. We about to get up out of here, y'all. Divine love. Hey, free Malachi Z. York, free Jeff Ford, free Larry Hoover. We send divine love throughout the boundless universe to all. Wadu.
Wadu.
Never have it been made so clear.